Okay, this is section 4.8, dividing complex numbers. Now we're actually going to divide them, and I've gotten some steps here written down for you. All right, so as we go through and we divide, remember we can't have I in the denominator. So in order to get rid of I out of the denominator, we're going to have to multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. That's a key part of the denominator in order to simplify the expression. You cannot have I in the denominator. If it's still in your expression, then it's not simplified all the way. Okay? And then, again, complex conjugate, reminder, is always the opposite of the imaginary number. Real number stays the same. That's what you should have done in the previous page. So we're going to be able to calculate imaginary numbers with division. Okay, so let's look at the example here. Now, one of the things that we find is that as we go through these problems, if I have a single term in the denominator, notice there's no plus or minus sign down here. Okay, if there's no plus or minus sign, I don't need to take the conjugate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply top and bottom by the same thing. Now, if I had like 5 plus 3i, then I would have to use the conjugate. Okay, so by multiplying top and bottom by the denominator, what I'm going to do now is I have to distribute here, just like before. So this turns into a multiplication. Okay, a lot of times. So if I go 3i times 9, that's 27i. And then 3i times 12i is 36i squared. And on the bottom, I end up with 3. Or excuse me, not 3. I end up with 9i squared. Okay, so now, from here, again, just like multiplication, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cross out my I squareds and change the sign. So cross out the I squared, make a 9 the negative. Cross out the I squared, make 36 negative. So on the top, real number first, that's negative 36 plus 27i all over 9, negative 9. Okay, now, once I've gotten that far, I have to check to see if I can factor this out. And I will tell you, you won't have a lot of these where you have to factor them out. But you'll notice that a number goes into 27 and 36, and that's 9. So if I take a 9 out, I end up having negative 4 and then plus 3i all over negative 9. And now what can my 9s? My 9s can cross out. So now it's negative 4 plus 3i all over negative 1. And we can leave it just like that. Okay? You won't see a lot of problems where you have to simplify like that. Okay, let's take a look here at this next example. Okay, so now this one you'll notice you have a binomial on the bottom. If I have a monomial, I just multiply by what the bottom is. On a binomial, I'm going to have to multiply by the conjugate. So the conjugate of one, and it's the conjugate of the bottom number, not the top one. We don't care about the top. The conjugate of the bottom number is 1 and then plus 4i. 1 plus 4i. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to FOIL both the top and the bottom, just like we did with multiplication. So remember, I said division just turns into lots of multiplications. So 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4i is 8i. 3i times 1 is 3i. And 3i times 4i is 12i squared. And then on the bottom, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times 4i is 4i. Negative 4i times 1 is negative 4i. And negative 4i times positive 4i is negative 16i squared. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to simplify the top So I'm going to combine my like terms here. Okay, so on the top I have 2, 8i and 3i is 11i. And remember, I can cross out that I squared to make the 12a negative. So we'll go minus 12. On the bottom, combine my like terms. We got a 1. 4i and negative 4i is 0. Those guys cancel out. Well, that's nice. And then cross out the I squared and make the 16a positive. And now you'll notice, what do I not have on the bottom? I don't have an I. It's really important. So on the top, combine my like terms. Got negative 12 and positive 2. That's negative 10. I'm going to add 11i behind it. And we're going to divide that by 17. Notice no I in my answer in the denominator. Okay, that's the key, is that there's no I in the denominator. Okay, so I've went through 2 really good examples. Let's go through one more here. Let's take a look at this question, number 8, quickly. All right, so again, I got a binomial on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate is 2 plus 3i and 2 plus 3i. All right, so on the top, I'm going to distribute the 4. That's 8 plus 12i. Here, I'm going to FOIL. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3i is positive 6i. 2 negative 3i times 2 is negative 6i. And negative 3i times positive 3i is negative 9i squared. Okay, so now on the top, there's nothing to simplify because these are not like terms, 8 plus 12i. And then on the bottom, these guys are like terms. Wait, notice they cancel. They make 0. Cross out the I squared, change the 9 to a positive. And now I have 4 plus 9. And then I have 8 plus 12i on top. And on the bottom, I can combine 9 and 4, and I get 13. And done. Okay, so I've went through 3 good examples there. So you should be able to work your division problems on page 3 of the Class Cake examples.